I'm Meko.
Hi, I'm Vasia.
And welcome to Natural to Natural. So today we have two very special guests with us. We have Imani and we have Nuri. Now Imani and her daughter Nuri, I think she's 4 years old, right, Vasia? We're going to be talking to Imani about just her experience with raising a daughter with beautiful natural hair, what her experience has been like growing up with her natural hair. And then we're actually going to do a demo. We're going to be showing Imani just some tips on how to navigate and bond with her daughter while doing her hair. And Vasia, why don't you tell us a little bit more about Imani and Nuri, because these are your clients, right?
Yes. So I'm so excited to have them. So I actually met Imani at an event that I was doing, a pop-up shop, and she booked an appointment with me, and that went really well. And then she brought her daughter in for another appointment, and her daughter is just amazing, and it just the two of them are just so beautiful. And she definitely has a really little girl, her daughter has really embraced her natural hair, which is really nice.
So 4 years old.
At 4 years old.
Oh wow! I can't wait to meet
Mom
her.
has been so supportive of her. So you guys will really get to witness this. So it's going to be really nice.
So I think it's time to bring on Imani and Nuri. What do you think about this?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Welcome, Imani and Nuri. How are you, Nuri?
Good.
You're good? You are so beautiful.
Isn't she lovely?
I absolutely love your hair.
Yes.
So Imani, let's get right into it. Vasia, tell us about you and your experience first with how long have you been natural?
Since she was 6 months. So, well, my whole life. But I had locks until she was about 6 months. And so pretty much my whole life I've
Okay.
been locked. And postpartum, shedding and just stress, not knowing what to do with my hair. So I just decided to cut it off and have straight natural hair for the first time in my life. And so, not ever having to do braids or the protective styling. It was definitely a learning experience for me. But I got to experiment, try new things, see what I like, see what works, and see what doesn't. And so when I had a baby girl, it was also a learning experience because she did not enjoy the process of getting her hair done. Until I met Vasia, she actually gave me some really good hands-on tips to help with the with the process. It's now she doesn't cry anymore. And so I don't want it to be stress or work for her. I want her to enjoy the process. So we're definitely learning together.
So I have a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah.
About you.
Well, I just want to say, it started with you, which is it's really beautiful that you went natural and you did that first,
Right.
because now she's getting to see you
Right.
embracing your hair. And our children, they don't do what we say, they do what we do. So you being that image for her, right? And seeing your beautiful hair is always gonna continue to inspire her and make her want to wear her hair. So what's really good, I'm glad that we got to get together, because now you're able to have the skills to provide her the hair care so that it is a pleasant experience for her, because we know it's just challenging,
Right, absolutely.
so it's hard for us, especially growing up, if our parents don't know how to care for the hair. So you definitely are onto a good start.
So you said that you were pretty much natural all your life,
Right.
But you had locks.
I had locks.
So what was it like being natural when it wasn't popular?
So it definitely, I know a lot of people remember me because of the girl with locks, definitely unique, it stood out. And when it was I had to learn to be okay with that.
Okay.
You know, I had to learn that I'm not going to be able to do the popular styles, the flat twist at the time and stuff like that. But I was okay. I decided to get locks on my own.
Okay.
I was 4 years old, and my older siblings, I have 2 sisters, they and my brother actually, they all were getting their hair locked. And so I asked my mom, I said, Mom,
3 years old. So you were Nuri's age.
I was literally Nuri's age, and I said, Mom, can I do it too? And so she said she wasn't gonna lock it until I was old enough to choose for myself. But she said when I asked, that was it. And it was no going back.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So if Nuri wanted to have locks, what would you say?
Absolutely. If she can voice that, then I would absolutely, and I would know what to do. So,
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's an easy go for you.
Right.
Wow. Okay, so you grew up 4 years old, you had your hair locked, and you kept it locked until she was about 6 months.
Yes.
And you kind of it was okay because you had siblings that kind of paved the way for you.
Right.
And so the whole family was locked. And so your
Exactly.
mom, I guess she just accepted that you wanted to be locked. So she really, it wasn't a challenge for her.
Right, exactly.
It was your mom natural at the time as well?
Yes, she had locks, but and then maybe when I was about 5, she had a Caesar. So she explained. My mom was very. She's a creative and artistic person, like myself. So she definitely experimented with a lot of different.
She was your role model.
Yeah.
Like Vasia said,
Yeah.
she set the example for you and your siblings. So it was just easy for you
Right.
to embrace your natural hair.
And the confidence that, like to have a woman with no hair and still be showing up and just be like, wow, it's like, you look good, girl. Like that confidence.
That's my mama.
It was contagious. So, yeah.
I'm sure that's a time too that natural hair wasn't that popular. Never
all.
mind a woman shaving her
With
hair
the-
up
exactly.
completely and doing a big
Yeah.
chop and everything.
Yeah.
So that's really, really good.
Very good. So now you have this beautiful baby girl. And now it's your turn, right? To learn. And so do you and Nuri have the same texture hair?
Absolutely not.
So what has that been like?
So when she was born, she had a full head of hair. It was bone straight. So it took some time. So I would just kind of wet it and some vitamin E and just do little slicks. And, I didn't do too much manipulation to her hair. I just kind of wanted to see where it went. And as she about 2.5, it just started transitioning to curls, tighter curls, very really nice waves, and so her hair can do so much more. Yeah.
So when did it become a challenge for you? Because you said at one point it started to become challenging for you to do her hair.
The tighter her curls gotten, yeah.
Okay.
And how did you find the detangling process to be? Like, what were some things that you felt? What are some things you were doing right, and then some things that you were doing wrong?
So definitely not making sure the hair was moistened enough or damp, and then combing out. Not using the right products for her hair type, and just doing what I know, or it's like saw on TV or YouTube or TikTok, things. I had to find what was right for her.
Right. And it can be difficult, especially when they're young like this. Their hair texture changes.
It changes.
Everything changes, right?
Yeah.
The hair grows, it gets thicker, the pattern can change.
Right.
So it's kind of a constant you learning
It's
different
definitely
things.
trial and error.
Yeah. So even now, she's 4, you'll find that when she's like 8, 9, 10, her hair texture might change a little bit again. So it's always about just knowing what kind of styles to do for her hair that's going to be helpful and not take too long to.
I have a question for Nuri. Nuri, what do you love most about your hair? Because your hair is beautiful, right?
Give it styled once.
You love getting it styled? So now you know what my next question is, right? What's your favorite style?
2 ponytails.
2 ponytails? Oh yeah, I think that's like a really popular style now, right? They have like the space buns or the 2 puff buns. Oh my goodness. So that's your favorite style to wear? I can't wait to see you in that style. I know that it looks gorgeous on you. Yeah. So you want to tell us a little bit more about like what you like about your hair? Do you ever comb your own hair?
And
Not yet. Are you looking forward to combing your own hair? You do? What are you looking forward to the most?
styling it myself.
Oh, okay. I don't know, Mommy. You might have a stylist on your hand, right? Now, did she ever express any interest in styling, or when you're doing her hair, did she ever ask you if she can do it herself?
So Miss Nuri has a lot of opinions and suggestions. So she definitely asks for specific styles
Really?
before we get started. Yes.
No. Gosh, no, I'm so excited to have Vasia.
No, I was gonna say that's really, really good. And because of that, being that she has this interest, you definitely want to
Spark that.
bring excitement around that, because this is the age where she's actually she's curious is the number one thing, right? So everything that you're doing with her hair, she's watching and she's seeing, and the more you involve her in decisions in regards to her hair, the more she's going to feel empowered, and it's just going to be a natural it's going to be natural for her to engage in her hair and want to play in her hair. You encouraging her to actually be in her hair and play with it, feel it. Let her, try a little twist, doing things, on it. Let her practice on her own hair. So while she's like this and she's curious, definitely continue, talking to her, about her hair and letting her do some things. So I know you said she helps pick out her hairstyles, right?
Yes.
What else does she like to do in regards
To her hair.
to her hair?
So I definitely pick out the little barrettes and the rows and make sure the headbands match and stuff like that. Yes.
I love the fact that she has her hair out. Because a lot of times moms don't let their kids wear their hair out like this. Because it can get tangled or it gets matted. But the fact that she has the confidence already to wear her hair out like that says a lot about how you're helping her to embrace what grows out of her hair. And the other thing I also noticed that really cool shirt that she has on, show us your shirt. And she has the two puffs, the two ponytails that you like. Look at this, right? She is so cute. Say it again, and it's tied at the bottom. Let the audience see your beautiful shirt.
Yes.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It looks just like you.
It looks just like you, and she's wearing your favorite hairstyle with the two ponytails. And so this is really great, Mom, that you are starting her out very, very early with just loving and embracing her natural hair. And then now when she goes to school, there's different cultures, different types of hair. But for her to be able to go to school and to have her hair out and to wear these styles, I remember growing up, I could not go to school like this with confidence and feeling like I was accepted for wearing my hair like that. Braids was even a challenge to wear back then. So to see this now at such an early age, I absolutely love it. And it starts with you. So let's talk about the beautiful style that you have in your hair. Right? Let's talk about what's going on in your hair. This is gorgeous as well.
Yeah, so this style that you're wearing is called the Liga Twist. So that's a style that I created. And basically it's her natural hair is twisted, but I used extension hair. And it's a curly type of extension hair that I twist in. So it's really, really good because it's protecting her hair and just giving her a chance to really focus on moisturizing and keeping it healthy and keeping the scalp clean.
Wait a minute, Vasia. So this is added hair because this looked like her own hair.
Yes.
I thought this was like locked and you set it on rod.
No, this is her own hair. And I'm sorry.
It's with added hair. It's added hair. It looks so natural.
It's with added hair, and that's definitely a goal whenever I do any extension style, that it looks natural. So I don't really follow necessarily the trends. Right, that's out. Like I like to try to do something a little different, put my own spin on things.
So now, how long would a style like this last?
So a style like this will last anywhere from, you can keep it in anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. But if you do keep it in for 8 weeks, you want to make sure that you do a touch up in between, and also you're making sure that you're keeping, your scalp clean and keeping up with, a regimen and everything. So the two of them, they're on my Butterfly Naturals Haircare Regimens.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what does that look? So what is that like for you being on a reg? Did you have a regimen before? Vasia put you on a regimen?
Not as fruitful. Like it
Okay.
just was basic condition. Maybe sit with the hot oil, maybe if time allowed it. But so when I met Vasia, it was just what's your problem area? What do you want to work on? And I'm never going anywhere else.
This is why it's so important to have a natural hair care specialist and not just go to salons where they just
Right.
do natural hair.
Right.
So you can go and get your hair braided and it looks absolutely beautiful, but then what are you doing to take care of your hair before you get your hair, while you have the braids, and even after? Because that's where healthy hair come in, and that's where having a healthy hair care specialist come in, because not only do you look good, but your hair is healthy while doing it. So you are not ashamed or afraid to wear your natural hair out, because it's just as beautiful as having a style in your hair. Yes, and because it's individualized, you get to do so many things with it, right? Now, do you play around with it a lot? Do you do different styles?
So with this, I've done like middle parts, or put it up in a bun, or 2 ponytails. So, but I just love the volume so much. I just kind of wake up, refresh it, put my a little bit of oil on my scalp at night, and I'm good.
Very nice. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Vasia, do you have anything else to ask?
Yeah, so I have some stuff I want to say to both of you. So first, Nuri, I want to tell you that you going to school and you wearing your hair out, right? And you showing all your friends how pretty your hair is. Guess what you're doing? You're inspiring them to wear their hair that way too, right? You're making the other little girls in your class want to learn about their hair, right? And be able to care for it and see how beautiful their hair is also. So this is it's so great when we can teach our kids to embrace their hair, because then it just helps all the kids. I also do curriculums in schools. I teach students how to care for their hair, and I have a curriculum where I'm teaching them about the African history of hair, and helping them to celebrate textured hair in general. And the more that they are wearing their hair out at school, the more that they're learning about hair care and different types of textures, the more they're loving their hair, right? And embracing others and their differences with their hair.
And that's important, because especially where we live currently, it's not it's kind of densely populated. There's not very many that look like her. So sometimes she does I want my hair straight, and I have to explain to her, you're different, or how your hair grows out of your head is beautiful and it's perfectly fine. You can do straight styles, but that's not how your hair is naturally.
Right.
And sorry. I have to say, Nuri, that's the beautiful thing about your hair, is the versatility. You get to style your hair straight, you get to style it curly, you get to wear afro, you get to wear braids, you get to wear twists, you get to wear puffs. All of those styles you get to wear for your hair, and a lot of people can't do that. So when you change your styles, like Miss Vasia said, you inspire other little girls because they see how beautiful your hair is. So I want you to keep loving your hair and keep loving your different styles, okay? What were you gonna say, Vasia?
What was I gonna say? Where's I going?
I think there was something you wanted to ask the mom. So you said you had something to say to Nuri, and then there was also something that you wanted to say to Imani.
What was I gonna say? I cannot remember. However, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well,
this happens at times. But I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Because what we're gonna do next is we're actually gonna do a live demo where we're gonna walk through just helping you or navigating through just detangling her hair. And that was one of the things I wanted to ask you before we go into it. What type of experience do you create for Imani when you're actually doing her hair? Because one, her hair is very thick, right? It's coarse. She's only 4 years old.
Right.
So there's a lot of parents out there who have young children, even older children, and they're doing their hair and they're not really creating a good experience. So it's like a battle with doing, it's frustrating for you, it's frustrating for the child.
You have
So
to set
how
the
do
tone.
how do you set the tone to prepare for a great experience for both you and her?
Well, I definitely had to, it was a learning curve for me to realize that, like you said, how it sets the tone from now, and I don't want her to hate the process of getting her hair done. I want it to be like a luxury, like just how we go to the spa.
Right.
I want it to be the same for getting your hair done. And it's a rites of passage for us, I didn't have to go to the salon. My mom or my older sisters would do my hair, but as I got older, sometimes I would treat myself and get my locks done by another professional. And like we'll go to Vasia now, so she's actually looking forward to getting her hair done, and she sees how gentle you are, and you take the time. Oh, is this hurt? Is this a problem area? So the fact that you listen and take the time, that's definitely something that I adapted to and added to when we don't go to the salon and I'm doing it at home as something that I also, incorporated and haven't had any tears. So,
So I didn't even understand how good that makes me feel, because
it
that
helped us.
is what I want to be able to do with my parents that I work with. I really want them to be able to create that bonding experience with their daughters, right? One of the biggest challenges with doing our children's hair is the detangling,
Yes.
right? And if it's hurting, if it's painful, it's like, how can we make them love something that's painful? It's impossible, right? So a lot of it also comes from how we set up, like Samika was saying, and you were saying just now, it's setting the tone, right? So some things that I suggest is like, if you're tired, don't do it.
Not the time.
No. If she's tired, if Nuri's tired, it's not the time. If she's hungry, not the time. If you're hungry, not the time. If you're in a bad mood, not the. So it's also being able to set the mood for her. Right. Another thing is if you're going somewhere and it's you're on a time constraint, don't do those styles. Don't do a style then. Try to always, any style that you do, especially that it's going to take a little while, make sure that you plan ahead for it, right?
I would
So that
say,
it's not
really quick, just to add to what you're saying, Vasia, I'm sorry. I would say, just like you schedule to get your hair done when you go to the salon, schedule a time to do her hair.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And be
maybe it's on
consistent with
Sunday, maybe it's on Saturday when you have the allotted time.
Yeah.
And prepare for it. Nuri, you're going to get your hair done. What style would you like? So kind of make an appointment like you would make an appointment when you go to the salon. So then she'll look forward to it, and then maybe have some snacks for her favorite movie, maybe a book or something for her, something set up so that it's an enjoyable experience, not just for her, but also for you. That is so important. A lot of times we're in a rush, like Vasia said, as parents, and then we go into it with that mindset, it's time for me to do her hair again.
And if you see it as a chore, then she's gonna start to see it as a chore. Right? And that's what we don't want. Of course, we have our moments. We're not perfect, right? I'm a mom too. I was gonna say before, like, you and Nuri remind me your story reminds me so much of me and my daughter's story, because I went natural, and I also with having her wanted to be able to be a good example, and I love that you have, I love the fact that you've always been natural. Like, that's amazing, and that's really great, and that you're able to pass this on to Nuri. And like, some things that we can do to help make it enjoyable too is also with letting her choose styles. But a big thing that we have to think about, especially when we have younger children, is not so much about the styles that we want to do, right? because we can go on Pinterest and we see all these like really cute, intricate styles. But some of these styles, the same way we don't want to sit for 3, 4, 5 hours to get certain styles done, is a 5-year-old gonna want to sit for 6 hours to get style done? No, right? So it's like, it's also about choosing hairstyles that are age appropriate, you know? So those are that's another way to make sure that it's enjoyable for her.
Yeah.
If you know that she if you know that she doesn't like to sit for a long time, then do styles that are going to take like no more than 10-15 minutes. And like we're going to be doing a demo, so you'll get to see, you know, what that looks like. I know I went over with you during our parent session one-on-one, but we'll definitely be doing it again, and you'll be able to show, you know, the audience how you can do a quick style.
So Vasia, with that said, and thinking about timing, right, in our report, why don't we go into the demo now, right? What do you think?
Yeah.
Nuri, are you ready? You ready to get your hair done? Want me to do a demo? All right, high five. Let's go do it. Yes.
Hi, so we're back, and here I have everything set up now. We are going to do a demo, and I'm going to help Imani show her daughter, work on her daughter's hair, and we're going to do, what are we going to do?
We're going to detangle.
Yes, we're going to detangle, then we're going to go over moisturizing the hair, and then also doing a quick styling technique, right? So one of the biggest challenges with doing our children's hair is the detangling. So that's where we have to start with, because we don't want this to be a painful experience at all. So what I always recommend is that we start by separating the hair. So my regimen really makes this easy. So we have the Clean Me Not Strip Me, which is an apple cider vinegar based cleanser and detangler. So this is what she's going to spray into her hair, her section of hair, to make it easier to detangle. This has apple cider vinegar on it. So this also will smooth the cuticles of the hair strands. Yeah, pick drop so you can pick it up for you, okay? All right, so you're going to shake that up, right? And you're going to spray that into the section. So you can spray that.
Now, apple cider vinegar is a little strong, right? So initially when it comes out, but the smell goes away almost immediately. The benefit of the apple cider vinegar, if you know, is slightly acidic, so it helps to seal the cuticle, which helps to easily detangle the hair.
Absolutely. So you just want to saturate it in there. So now that the cuticle of the hair strands are able to be smooth, like it's really going to make it easy to detangle. So how her hair has some little tangles right now because it was in a twist out, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to very gently separate these strands. And you want to take your time, so you can separate each strand and smooth the product through.
So now, Vasia, I do have a question to ask while she's doing that. Is that okay? So now, how long does the detangling process, how long would that take? Because you're saying she should go through it, like, so now how long would that take? Because remember, we talked about timing and her being young.
Yes.
So what is a typical, how long should it take a parent to detangle their child's hair?
Well, you know what? We can't really base it on, we really can't put a time on it, to be quite honest, right? Because it depends on how much tangles a child has. So what I recommend is that you do it in increments, right? Not all the time do we have to have our child sit and do everything from beginning to start at one shot, right? So, for example, we know that she has a lot of tangles. You're going to take maybe the morning time and you're going to focus on detangling the hair. You stop, go on with your day, you know, do some other things, let her have her playtime and, you know, and all of that. And then you come back and you do the next step. So I always recommend you take breaks in between, right? Because it can be intense, right? Especially if you're doing it for the first time and learning the technique. It's going to take you a while to do it because you're learning. And then on top of that, you really don't want it to be painful for her. So it definitely will require some patience.
And what I would recommend, because sometimes parents don't have the time to take the break. Sometimes, you know, we might have an event that day and I need her to have her hair done.
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend make sure you keep account of the amount of time it takes, right? So how much time does it take me to detangle? If I know what style I'm going to do for that day, how much time would it take me? And then allocate that amount of time for that day. And that's why you want to schedule like you go into a salon. So if it takes me an hour to detangle, and then it takes me another hour to wash and another hour to style, that gives me about 3.5 hours. So then I would plan my day out for that day. Does that make sense? Because the reality is some parents just don't have time to do it in increments. We need to get everything done, and we need to get it done because we have something else going on.
It definitely takes planning. You know, you want to definitely plan for everything. Yes. So also something that we want to talk about. There's something called single strand knots, right? And that's a knot that the strand has entangled on itself. So it's a knot on there, right? That you like almost impossible to get out. Instead of ripping the hair apart, you definitely want to continue to smooth the strand. And if it's a knot that cannot come out, you take the shears and you clip it. You clip it off, okay? Because you don't want to damage the ends by trying to rip it.
I have something to say about the shear before you move on. If you're going to use a shear to clip the hair, make sure it's a shear that you only use
For
cut,
hair.
not for cutting clothes, not for cutting paper. So go out and buy a pair of shears from your local beauty supply and only use that shear for that. Because when you use it for clothes and other materials, it can damage the hair. So make sure you only use a shear. And it doesn't have to be an expensive shear, but you just want to make sure that it's a shear that you only use for cutting hair.
So now that her hair is detangled, the next step that we're going to do is moisturizing, okay? So the second step is the Love Me Everyday spray. And this is the moisturizing spray. This has aloe vera, grapeseed oil. So really good ingredients that keep the hair really nice and soft and make it feel moisturized. So you're going to spray this in next. Look at the curls.
Oh,
yes,
she did.
sure
I love what she did.
Yes, make sure that you shake up the products because it has oils. Of course, it has water in there, so you want to shake it up so that everything will spray out evenly onto the hair.
So Imani, Vasia taught you well, right? Because you see, you didn't even tell her. She went right into shaking it up. Very good.
So you want to make sure that you saturate the hair with the spray. So don't be stingy with the product. You really want to make sure because the purpose of the products is for the ingredients to actually get deep within the hair. So you want to make sure that you're putting enough so that the hair can be moisturized, right? Sometimes we're not putting enough product, and that's why we don't get the results that we want. So now we're going to smooth it on. And then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take the buttery up. And this is now going to seal this moisture in that we've just put in. And this is really great. It's shea butter based. It has coconut oil. It has olive oil, palm seed oil, sunflower seed oil. So really good ingredients to make this butter not be heavy, but to really allow it to penetrate into the hair and nourish your hair without it being greasy in any way.
So one of the things I wanted to mention was what we kind of talked about off camera, but I definitely think that is important to talk about it on camera, was making sure that you ask her, how does it feel? You gotta ask her, because a lot of times we go to salons or we get our hair done and it's hurting and we won't say anything.
Grown women,
exactly. So how much more so for a little girl?
Right.
And we want her to have a great experience. So it's important for us to ask, how is it going? Is it hurting? And if it is, it gives us insight onto how to adjust the tension so that it can be a pleasant experience.
We have to listen.
Yes.
We have to listen when their child says that it hurts. We have to listen, step back, kind of like,
You remember growing up when it was hurting and you said it, it was like, sit down, be quiet, just sit still and get your hair done.
Honestly.
We do not want to create that experience because I did not like getting my hair done growing up.
It was
impulsive. The hot comb, you remember, and it's cinching you and you jump in and you get popped. Like you've experienced that. We don't want that. That doesn't make it a pleasant experience. And the whole goal is to create a pleasant experience so that she learned to love her hair and love getting it done. And even when she grows up and she goes to a salon to get her hair done, she will be comfortable with saying, this is uncomfortable.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. It is so
How I feel.
beautiful.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
You see how the love and the care that you're doing, you're smiling. It's all of it. It's our body language, it's our tone of voice when it comes to helping them with their hair. We want to make it a pleasant experience. This is something, you doing her hair is something that you want her to look back years later and think about. Oh, I remember on Sundays, Mom, we used to have wash day, and we used to do my hair, and we used to sing songs and color. So these are things that are really important to remember for her to remember. So then the next step will be the custard. So with the custard, you're going to then into the bowl. So it's good to put it in when you're using anything like this, a custard or butter, anything that you have to continue to dip into. It's good to put it in a bowl. So then you're going to take you're going to take some of the custard, and section by section you're going to put it through the hair, and you're going to start at the very ends.
And so what is she doing now? She's defining her
This
curls.
is to define the curls. So this is the all that I can be, the styling custard. So this is now for all the styles that you'd want to do, right? So this has aloe vera gel in here. It has grapeseed oil. It has coconut oil. So it has really good ingredients for you to be able to have your hair feeling soft, give it that extra moisture, and you get the definition without it being flaky. And so you're going to put it in section by section. Now, as far as styling, right? Because she's 4, right? We want to always think about our child's age and what hairstyles we can do that's going to be quick and not take a long time, right? So doing something where you're just naturally defining her curls, like how she came today and she had her big fro, like those are great styles, right? Your hair doesn't always have to be braided, right? So what you're doing now, what you're doing now is defining the natural curl pattern, clumping those curls together, and that's when you'll really see her curl pattern.
And
So
when you
once
do it in smaller sections, you can get more of a definition.
So then
Yes.
you'll just be opening it up
I
more.
think Imani is whipping up a concoction.
So once you put it through, I'll use some more. So you're gonna put it on the ends, and then you're just gonna work the way up.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So that's gonna just naturally define the curls, and then it's gonna dry. Another thing, right? When we're talking about drying the hair, we also want to keep in mind that a lot of times kids are afraid of blow dryers, right?
Okay.
So in order to dry the hair, we want to make sure that we start on a low setting. And when we're doing curly styles, I recommend you use a dryer that has a diffuser attachment. That way you don't always have to be using the comb to dry her hair. You can literally dry her hair while it's in its curly state. Okay? So that's something to keep in mind as well. Another thing that you can do that's nice and quick is what's called finger coiling. So you remember I showed you, like, you can just take a small section and just twirl it around your fingers, and that creates a cute little springy curl. So you can do a bunch of those throughout her whole head. That's very cute, and it clumps the curls together longer so that you have more of a duration with the style. So you can get up to 2 weeks sometimes with doing finger coils as opposed to just defining the natural curls. All right, very nice. So just again, some tips, right? When we are doing our baby's hair, it's important that we have something to keep them occupied. In Nuri's case, she as you can see, she's gonna be a hair girl.
The product.
When I was 4, she reminds me of myself. When I was 4, I did my hair in box base for the very first time, and she reminds me of myself, all in the products, right? But if your baby is not into hair products, what you can do is you can have them set up with a tablet where they're watching their favorite cartoons. If you go on YouTube, there's lots of little videos about kids doing their own hair and with songs and things like that. You can even make sure that you have some books on hand. This one is called Good Hair Day, and this is by Sienna Robinson. So you want to have books and little music and things like that to really set the mood so that your child can see this as a great experience, not just, oh, I'm getting my hair done again.
And it's so funny because our hair can be so deceiving, right?
Mhm.
You look
Look
at
at the
this hair,
shape.
you look at this, right? And you see this texture, and then you put product on it, and then you see a totally different texture. It is so soft, and you just want to, the key is making sure the hair stay moisturized.
Yes.
If the hair is not moisturized, it can get dry, it can be very brittle, it can be hard to detangle. So making sure you hydrate the hair and put great products that have great ingredients on to keep the hair moisturized is key here. You did a phenomenal job,
Yes.
Imani, and you did a great
Yes,
job,
I did.
Nuri. I need another high five. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Great job.
One more thing that you do want to do, you want to make sure that, you know, if her scalp is dry, that you put oil to her scalp, right? And remember, moisturization is not about your hair being wet. It's about your hair feeling, having a suppleness. Your hair is to be dry, but it should have a supple feel to it still, right?
Because water just hydrates.
Right.
It doesn't moisturize. Oils just seal. But together they moisturize. So you want to hydrate and then seal with the combination. Exactly. Okay, here's your oil. You talked a little
Yes,
bit
so
about
this
the
is
oil.
the growth oil.
Really
This is
quickly.
stimulate my hair growth. So this is what you'd put on her scalp every night. Also, like if she has dry scalp or if you have dry scalp or anything like that, you put this through and it's also great for hair growth. So this has black Jamaican castor oil in here and rosemary, which is really good for hair growth. So
Okay, and
so
really
good
quickly, as we wrap it up, I would
ingredients.
highly recommend putting it onto your fingertips, massaging it, and then massaging it into the scalp so it doesn't sit on the scalp. It does have castor oil, which can be a little heavy, and she mentioned you want to do it every single day. You do it as needed. If she needs it and her scalp is dry, then put it on. If her scalp is not dry, don't, because now you're going to cause buildup on her scalp. Make sure with your fingertips you massage it into the scalp, which helps it to penetrate deeper. All right? All right, that's it. We are wrapping up. Thank you so much.
Yes.
We hope that you had a wonderful time with us, Nuri and Imani, and we hope this was very informative for all of you. And until next time, Vasia, have a happy, healthy hair day.